One of the most amazing realizations of the 20th century was that quantum mechanics, combined with relativity, allows something to come from nothing. In fact, nothing is unstable. Religion and theology, and to some extent philosophy, have contributed almost to nothing to our fundamental understanding of the universe. Because questions such as what is something and what is nothing are really scientific questions, not philosophical ones. When we apply quantum mechanics to gravity, the truly remarkable thing is that even space itself can be created from nothing by quantum mechanical effects. There's been a revolution in cosmology in the last 25 years. We now understand that the dominant energy in the universe resides in empty space, and that's changed everything. And in fact, it helps point unambiguously to the possibility that the universe arose from nothing. It turns out the universe we live in is perhaps the worst of all possible universes for the long-term future of life. In the far future, the universe will become cold, dark, and empty, and life will end. Nothing will once again reign supreme.
Lawrence Krauss's remarks in the clip are relevant to the first two arguments that I shared tonight. He would answer Leibniz's question, why is there something rather than nothing? And object to the first premise of the cosmological argument that everything that begins to exist has a cause by saying that quantum physics can explain how the universe came into being from nothing. Unfortunately, Professor Krauss has made some very fundamental grammatical and logical mistakes. The word nothing is a term of universal negation. It is a quantifier expression meaning not anything. There is a whole series of these negative universal quantifiers in English. For example, nobody means not anybody. Nowhere means not anywhere. None means not one. Never means not ever. So these quantifier expressions, because they're pronouns, can be used as the grammatical subjects of a sentence rather than as a quantifier expression. But when you use it that way as a referring term to something, in fact, you're misunderstanding the grammar of the sentence. In light of this, how remarkable is it that Professor Krauss, whose native tongue is English, uses the word nothing as a referring term to what is clearly something. For example, he says things like this: nothing is unstable. Nothing weighs something. There are different kinds of nothing. Nothing is almost everything. This is simply a misuse of language. In fact, what Krauss is actually talking about is the quantum mechanical vacuum or quantum mechanical fields, which are physical realities governed by physical laws. They are most emphatically not nothing, and they cannot be extended infinitely into the past. Let me read to you the response from his review of Krauss's book, A Universe from Nothing, by David Albert, a very eminent philosopher of science, in the New York Times Sunday Review of Books. This is what Albert had to say. According to relativistic quantum field theories, particles are to be understood as specific arrangements of the fields. Certain arrangements of the fields, for instance, correspond to there being 14 particles in the universe. And certain other arrangements correspond to there being no particles at all. And these last arrangements are referred to in the jargon of quantum field theories, for obvious reasons, as vacuum states. He goes on, Krauss seems to be thinking that these vacuum states amount to the relativistic quantum field theoretical version of there not being any physical stuff at all. But that's just not right. Relativistic quantum field theoretical vacuum states are particular arrangements of elementary physical stuff. The fact that some arrangements of these fields happen to correspond to the existence of particles and some do not is not a whit more mysterious than the fact that some of the possible arrangements of my fingers correspond to the existence of a fist and some don't. And the fact that particles can pop in and out of existence over time as these fields rearrange themselves is not a whit more mysterious than the fact that fists pop in and out of existence over time as my fingers rearrange themselves. And none of these poppings amounts to anything even remotely in the neighborhood of a creation from nothing.
The way that we use language is very important to clear communication and mutual understanding.
Exactly, and that is why, by the way, the trash talk of certain physicists like Krauss or biologists like Richard Dawkins with regard to philosophy is so misconceived, because one of the benefits of good philosophy is conceptual analysis, so that we aren't misled by language in the way that Professor Krauss has been so evidently misled.